This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
Welcome to DBL. It is Thursday, May 21st. I am Tori in the studio with Erica, and Stephanie Jones is joining us from home. How are you doing, Red Lace?
Well, you know, I ate last night's cold crab spring rolls for breakfast, so life's going just wonderful over here, Tori.
That was hilariously sad. I'm so sorry. I ate cold pizza in the middle of the night in the dark, so I know what you mean. We've all been there. I understand. We begin with breaking news, though, Steph. I want to get your take in the college admission scandal. Thank God we haven't been continually doing this for 10 months. Oh, wait, we did. Lori Loughlin and her husband, Massimo Giannulli, are pleading guilty to conspiracy charges as part of a new plea agreement. They've also agreed to a sentence if the court approves. So under the agreement, Lori will be sentenced to 2 months in prison, a $150,000 fine, 2 years of supervised release, and 100 hours of community service. Massimo's sentence will be 5 months in prison, a $250,000 fine, and 250 hours of community service. This, of course, all stems from the couple's efforts to pass off their daughters as athletic recruits to get into USC. So we always go to you guys, DBL Nation. We want to know what you think. Is this justice? Or are these sentences too lenient or too harsh? All you have to do is go to DBL Vote now to weigh in, and as we talk, we'll be tallying it up. My first thought was 100% they did this now because there's coronavirus and they're going to have their sentence in their mansion at home. Steph, do you think that's a possibility?
Yeah, I mean, I think they've definitely played this game to the best of their ability and to definitely make it a lot easier on them. If they had have gone to trial and they had have been found guilty, they'd have been looking at years in prison. So this for them is a really light sentence based on what they would have been facing should they have gone through and kept pleading that they were not guilty. So I think it makes sense for them to do this, but at the same time, it's kind of really frustrating because I just think that they deserved more than that. I feel like for them, this is a bit of a slap on the wrist. I don't think they're gonna. I don't know. I'm disappointed to say the least.
You
which
find it
probably sounds like a bit mean, but
no. You find it too lenient.
I think they deserved a bit more.
Yeah, but Erica, you have a good point that it's not that easy.
Right. I think that their self-imposed punishment is going to be the bigger loss for them because they've lost their reputation. They are viewed as something completely different than when this first started. How much money have they spent on legal fees? Lori lost her contracts, and then we're in the middle of a financial crisis with stocks down, like the market was crashing. How much liquid do they actually have at this point? Yes, I do believe that it has something to do with coronavirus, but I also think that it was time to stop the hemorrhaging. We've been talking about this case since February of 2019.
Oh my God, forever. I totally agree with that. Let us see, the audience says, strong majority agree, 75%, it's too lenient. I know what they mean. I know what they mean. I'm frustrated that she's going to spend it at home. I get that they're under financial constraints, but she's probably crying into her $100 bills. Okay, sorry, got real nasty there. Starting today, stars like Hugh Jackman, Penelope Cruz, and Julia Roberts are taking a break from social media and joining the Pass the Mic challenge. So take a look.
I'm taking a hiatus.
One day I'm handing over my account
To experts on COVID-19.
People who actually know what they're talking about.
So instead of hearing from me,
You'll be hearing from dozens of experts, like Dr. Anthony Fauci.
For 3 weeks, experts like Dr. Fauci will be sharing their perspectives on the pandemic using the high-profile social media accounts. So I guess stay tuned for more on that. So to me, he was sort of taken off the microphone, obviously, during those President Trump, I guess you call it question and answering. So they need a space. I think it's smart to have a big platform for a head of NIH's infectious diseases, right, Erica? There's nothing wrong here.
Well, no, I think that it's a very interesting way of getting the word out, and also especially because you would think the celebrities, you know, they love their fans and the people that follow them, and this is a way of helping to keep everyone safe. But the reality is that any place that Fauci is posted and a lot of these other lesser known experts, people are listening.
Yeah.
I mean, I posted a clip of Dr. Fauci a few weeks ago, and I think it was like 60,000 views, and I never get 60,000 views for anything. People just need the information.
I remember that, and I remember being like, oh my God, I'm glad you posted that, like, completely. Would you give up your social media account for something like this, Steph?
In this case, absolutely, yes, I would. I think it's something that people want. They want to keep informed. They want to keep educating themselves. And as the virus does continue to mutate and change, which it is, I think people want to stay on top of it. They want to know how to keep themselves and their families safe. And I think also this is an amazing chance, an amazing platform for all the unsung heroes, because there's not just going to be, obviously, the famous doctors and healthcare workers that we know and we see on TV every day. They're going to be people that are putting their lives on the front line for all of us every single day, being able to really educate and inform us on what that's like and how we can help. So I think it's amazing, and these celebrities have got millions and millions of followers. So if that helps spread a message and helps us all, you know, stay in this together and learn more, this is nothing but an amazing positive thing. I think it's brilliant.
Yeah, it's a quick way to get the information across. It's a really good loophole. All right, this next woman is my hero. I've always wanted to be her. If the pandemic is getting you down, you have a friend in Goldie Hawn. She recently spoke to Good Morning Britain, about how she cries 3 times a day thinking about the abuse, fear, and anxiety people are dealing with in lockdown. But the actress is trying to combat sadness with laughter. She's encouraging others to do the same with the Laughing Challenge. Let's take a look.
If you could film your kids laughing, honey, what are you doing? And so just, if you could post it, just laugh, just a few moments of laughter, your kids laughing, or oh my God. Oh my God. Laugh, guys, and shoot it and put it all over and let everybody know that there is a piece of us that every day can feel happier.
By far, she is the woman I want to turn out to be. That was Kurt Russell tickling her, by the way. Goldie's daughter, Kate Hudson, responded with an adorable video showing her baby girl giggling away. Hello. Other people responded with their laughter videos as well. Goldie also listed some benefits of laughter, such as boosting immunity, decreasing pain, and easing anxiety. I gotta say, sometimes when you start to watch these laughing videos, they just automatically make you start laughing. And there's a whole group in India that just does this for yoga, the laughing yoga. And it's quite good for toxins to get out of there, right, Erica?
Yeah, I think that a lot of people need this because Goldie Hawn is clearly an empath, and she probably has a bit of survivor's remorse in some respect when there's so much pain in the world and you're trying to do everything you can, but you know you can't fix it. It's like it's a deep feeling. Yeah. But I have to tell you, I haven't laughed harder than I did last Sunday, and I sent you guys the video of my husband walking through the screen door.
That was so good. And I needed that so badly. We all did. Sorry. I love you, Anthony. But it was so direct. 1, 2, bang! It was so good. It was so clear. Oh, my.
Oh, man.
Good times. Steph, when's the hardest you laughed? Do you have a good time you laughed, or have you had a good laugh recently?
Oh, my God. There's been so many. I mean, at the minute, I'm living precariously through my parents at home. So my parents are quarantining together with my brother and his girlfriend, and one of my best friends lives literally next door to my parents. So they've all been quarantining together, and they have the most outrageous parties that are themed that you have honestly ever seen. Every week they've got different sets, they've got costumes, they've got projectors like changing the scene of wherever they are. It's insane. So I'm living through them. Whenever they send me the weekly video of wherever they're apparently they are in the world, I'm in fits of laughter. I'll have to share it with you because
please.
You have to see it to believe it.
We gotta play that. That's
crazy.
I believe it. And I do believe it. I met her parents. Also, Anthony, be careful. Be careful of the doors. Yeah. Stick around, Steph. Coming up on DBL, the feud between Chrissy Teigen and a New York Times columnist takes a turn. Is cancel culture in full effect here? We're sharing your DBL take. Plus, she went from obscurity to household name. Lorena Bobbitt. Remember her? Well, she shares her side of the story in a new movie based on the shocking 90s headlines and tells DBL Nation all about it. And DBL is still doing our part. There's Chris Clark sitting awake, thinking about life, keeping our community safe, and our coworkers are producing the show from home, including Jody, whose birthday it is. Happy birthday. We'll be right back. Closed captioning provided. Welcome back to DBL. Chrissy Teigen wants an outspoken hater of hers to get her job back. Remember this story? New York Times food columnist Allison Roman was put on leave after slamming the sold-out cookbook that helped turn Chrissy into a lifestyle pro. And although the beef, get it, it's food, has since been squashed, more food, Chrissy wants to make it clear she had no part in canceling the columnist. So DBL Nation, this has us thinking, should cancel culture be policed? I'm going to read your viewer comments, and then I'm going to get Steph and Erica's DBL take. Steph, the first comment's for you. Alex from Facebook says the New York Times should have only released a statement saying that those views were not of their paper. Allison's opinion is valid. Chrissy is not an expert. Cancel culture has gone too far. What do you think, Steph?
Okay, I do agree with the majority of what was said there. I do feel like sometimes cancel culture can go too far, but I think it is very much a case-by-case basis. I feel in this particular instance, I didn't agree with what Allison said. I feel it came from a very bitter place, but Chrissy's intention was never to get her to lose her job. I agree that the paper should have just said, this is Allison's thoughts, but I mean, that's the whole point, that people have the right to freedom of speech now. Yep. So, you know, I think it went too far in this particular case.
I agree. And Chrissy, just so you know, has tried and said, I'm calling the New York Times off the air to try to make it known I'm very upset that she got fired. Erica, the next comment's for you. Jess from Facebook says, I think more celebs should police their crazy fans on social media. I'm not a fan of Beyonce, but I'd never tweet that. I'd not only fear for my job, I'd fear for my life. The Beehive.
Jess, you are a smart person.
That's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea.
I think that it actually is completely on brand for Chrissy to say something and then also to defend the woman in terms of keeping her job, because Christy's brand, for the most part, is speaking her mind.
Yeah.
And you don't want to censor someone else when you're speaking for speaking their mind. I think there's a deeper issue here in this situation, because this woman apparently had a relationship with someone who was accused during the Me Too movement. And I think that this came across as very anti-women for someone who already had a reputation for maybe being anti-women.
Yes, and remember, she went after Marie Kondo too, and that's 2 Asian women, and that did not go over well as well. Phoenix from YouTube says, I'm for cancel culture. Okay, Phoenix, sometimes people need to be checked by public opinion and be made an example of. Steph?
Again, I think it's very hard to give like a sweeping statement, because every time something happens, we can't put it all in the same category. Should people be allowed to give their opinions and say what they think? Absolutely, but not to the detriment of someone's color, their race. If you get too personal, it depends completely on the situation. So I think we can't just put everyone in the same bucket. It's not fair.
It's fair. It's a case-by-case basis, or else it's a recipe for disaster. We'll be right back with Lorena Bobbitt.
We all know that movement is like
Welcome back to DBL. Lorena Bobbitt in 1993 was a household name in the tabloids. Nearly 30 years later, and going by her maiden name Gallo, Lorena is now telling her story in an emotional new film called I Was Lorena Bobbitt. Earlier, I had the chance to sit down with Lorena and Danny Montalvo, who played her in the film, in a really interesting DBL spotlight. Take a look. Lorena Gallo and Danny Montalvo, welcome to DBL. Lorena, back in the 90s, your name was everywhere and it was not always complimentary. So I wanted to start this interview asking you, what inspired you to tell your story now? Is it to set the record straight?
There's not much has been changed since 30 years ago, almost 30 years ago, when my case resonated all around the world, basically. So to me, it's very important for people to hear my story again, and basically to set the record straight. This is something that it was more concern of domestic violence, not about my ex-husband being cut off his like, all the tabloids were talking. Right. I think that the media missed a big window of opportunity by telling the domestic violence side of it, because that's exactly what it was. It is a story of domestic violence and sexual assault.
John Bobbitt evaded any charges, right? So what do you have to say about this incredible double standard that's coming from me?
I think that it's very important that people know what happened, what truly happened, and through my lens, through the lens of domestic violence, and to show what really happened.
Everybody makes mistakes, baby. It wasn't me, it was the alcohol.
Then maybe you should stop drinking.
Danny, while you were developing this character, which must have been so multifaceted for you, did you speak to John Bobbitt at all, or did you just sort of concentrate on speaking with Lorena?
Yeah, at no point did I ever speak to John Bobbitt. It was all just focused on Lorena and her story and the way she wanted to tell it, and basically everything she felt through, you know, her life of abuse. I think I wanted to focus only on what she wanted to share.
That's fair. I want to ask you too, Danny, what do you think Lorena's story would look like if Me Too were around back in 1993? Because the culture has changed, am I right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think if the Me Too era were back then and, you know, her story came out, I think we would be in a much, much different place today, because I think she would have sparked a whole movement herself, you know, something so grand and so isolated, you know, an isolated incident like that. I think it would have started something huge.
I completely agree with you. Lorena, this is a question I've always wanted to ask you. You were somewhat bullied in a lot of ways, and people can have their own opinions about it, but we see a lot of women that were bullied in the press over and over and over again, and a lot of that is relatable to our viewers, right? A lot of us were bullied or are bullied in smaller scales. How did you deal with that and come out on the other end of that as an advocate and a survivor?
You know, a lot of things have changed, and people form their own opinions, and people are always going to be opinionated and judgmental of others. But hey, I wanted to tell my story from the very beginning, and that's what I took the stand. I wanted people to hear from me, and I had the chance to do that since the very beginning when I was put on stand on my trial.
Wow. A different angle from the whole look of it. That is what DBL is all about. I can't wait to see I Was Lorena Bobbitt. Both of you, thank you. I know you've been through a lot and it was difficult, but I have to imagine that coming out the other side is a little bit brighter today in this environment. I really appreciate the activism that you are spreading. I really do. Thanks so much, guys. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
Welcome back to DBL. Oh, Erica, sorry, I'm getting breaking news. We have some sweet deals. Are you ready?
How sweet, Tori?
They're pretty sweet. Earlier, I messed it up. Earlier, Stephanie showed us some great gift ideas at even better prices. And of course, DBL Deal Blast, sponsored by Morning Save. Take a look.
What do you have for us today, Stephanie?
It's the Vivitar Exfoliating Pore Cleanser. So this corrects uneven skin tone and pore appearance. It can reduce your fine lines and wrinkles. Normally, these are $80. Right now, they're only $19, which means you're saving 76%, Tori. Now, this is the Turbo Scrub Pro 360 cordless tiled scrubber. It's powered, so it's really like doing all the hard work for you. Normally, these are $60. Now, it's only $25, which means you're saving 58%, Tori. So this is the Pure Enrichment Sound Machine. It's got 6 soothing sounds for a peaceful listening experience, and it's cordless too. So you can plug it in and it's cordless. Normally, this is $60. Right now, it's only $24. So you're saving 60%. And lastly, it's the Viva Spa Massaging Neck Pillow. So you can get a luxurious massage from the comfort of your own home. Normally this is $70. It's now only $29, which means you're saving 59%.
Stephanie, amazing. Head on over, guys, to morningsave.com to snag these amazing deals at the lowest prices you're going to find. You can even visit morningsave.com on your smartphone. Remember, Father's Day is coming up, right? Thank you so much, Steph. We both want the same thing, Steph.
No. I wanted it first.
The turbo
scrub.
The turbo scrub.
Yes.
Oh yeah, you'll get that bathroom looking sparkling in moments, girls.
And you know it's cordless. It's cordless, so you can get in there and be like, put on some music, like so fresh and so clean, and then, huh? Anyone else? Nope.
That's Tori's Saturday night.
We're new every day. We'll be back same time, same place tomorrow. Ooh.